The songs, the stories, the animation, Disney movies have a lot to love, and are enjoyed by millions of children all over the world. But a whole film can completely change when the movie is paused. Kids may look at beloved Disney characters in a whole new light after seeing several paused scenes that can be easily misinterpreted at such a young age. Here is Screen Rant's list of 10 paused Disney moments that kids can misinterpret. Check out our awesome video, but before you do that, click the subscribe button. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of any new content. Can you guess which movie is represented by these emojis? Stay tuned until the end to find out.
Heard your princess was a sight lovely to see.
The Genie and the Sultan. Aladdin is known for the epic love story between the title character and the forbidden princess, Jasmine. Even though they may play the romantic leads in the film, several other couple combinations are possible. Some fans may prefer the dark horse couple of Jafar and Jasmine. Some may want to see Aladdin end up with another girl from the streets of Agrabah. And then there's the paused scene that showcased the odd pairing of the Genie and the Sultan. Even as the film pushed the love story of Aladdin and Jasmine into our faces, it's hard not to ignore several of the other characters and their potential for love. With some poorly placed body positions, it appeared that the Genie was using his powers for a little more than just helping Aladdin snag his girl. Not only was the Genie in a dominant pose over the Sultan, but he was dressed just like him. What kind of love fantasy is that? Anyone that has seen Aladdin knows that the Sultan is a pretty odd character. It wouldn't be that surprising to see him open to a relationship with a magical genie just to see where things could go. The look on his face was full of shock and surprise, but there was clearly a little intrigue there too. Obviously, the movie series didn't take this moment any further, but there's probably some fan fiction out there that showcases what life would be like in Agrabah with the Genie and the Sultan ruling the roost together.
No weaknesses whatsoever.
An exhausted Hercules. Hercules may be the god of strength, but apparently every god has his limits. In the 1997 animated hit Hercules, he spent a good portion of the movie trying to get the attention of the confident and strong-willed Meg, despite the growing presence of the evil Hades. Throughout the animated film, Hercules does battle with giant monsters, three-headed hydras, and even a titanic cyclops. Between those battles, it appeared as if Hercules had a little downtime to spend with Meg. The two characters playfully flirted with each other throughout the film, but there was barely a kiss or romantic gesture seen on the screen. In this very suggestive screenshot, Hercules and Meg look both mentally and physically exhausted. And anyone that sees this paused moment will think that the exhaustion is just from battling monsters. The look on Meg alone is enough to give it all away. Her hair is a mess, she appears quite sweaty, and seems completely out of breath as she clings onto her Herculean god. Hercules himself can't keep his cool either. The charming god of strength looks completely out of his element, with a dazed look on his face. At least his hair is still in good shape. This all explains why Hercules chose to stay on Earth rather than live out the rest of his life as a god amongst the clouds. Good choice, Herc.
Sleep. Bagheera.
A Jungle Book psychosis. The story of Mowgli and his jungle adventures has been an odd one that no one really considered. An orangutan king, talking animals, a dancing bear? The animated Jungle Book and the recent live-action remake may be considered Disney classics, but has anyone actually considered what Mowgli's true story is?
Don't worry about me.
This young, abandoned boy just happened to befriend a bunch of wild animals and sing musical numbers with them? There's something fishy about that, and a few paused moments can showcase exactly how suspicious the whole story is. During a paused moment of the animated Jungle Book, we see a close-up shot of the Black Panther, Bagheera. Bagheera played the role of a loyal best friend and mentor to Mowgli, despite the predatory nature of these animals in real life. The close-up shot of Bagheera showcases the panther with 6 eyes instead of 2. Was this a mistake? Or was it a slight revelation that Mowgli's whole jungle adventure was all just a crazy trip on some bad hallucinogens that Mowgli mistook for survival food? Using this theory, the whole story kinda starts to make sense. It would give Mowgli the ability to talk to multiple animals, and allows you to enjoy the movie more. Knowing that it's all a psychedelic dream will eliminate any of the questions that you previously had. While Mowgli's visions are typically clear, the six-eyed Bagheera showcased how bad they could actually get.
What's the matter with his ears? I don't see nothing wrong with him.
Timothy Q. Mouse. Training an elephant to fly can be exhausting. Just ask Timothy Q. Mouse, one of the lead characters in the animated classic Dumbo. Timothy is inspired by Dumbo and wants to help the young elephant free his mother from captivity. I guess Timothy wasn't too inspired, because shortly in the film he jumps into a vat of champagne and gets really bubbly. The frozen screenshot of Timothy Q. Mouse that has spread around the internet is not something made to look like he's under the influence. The character really was in the movie. In the scene before this shot, a group of clowns are shown pouring champagne into the large barrel. Made in 1941, Disney films were more open to showcasing the use of alcohol or smoking by various characters. Not only did Timothy Mouse get drunk with Dumbo, but the pair went on a binge, saw visions of pink elephants, and eventually blacked out until they woke up in a treetop the next morning. Now that's a party. This screenshot of Timothy Mouse captures it all, showing a beloved Disney character under the influence and ready to party with all the other circus animals. Not only is he wasted, but he's stumbling around, burping bubbles, and looking about as buzzed as a mouse could get. I guess that's why Mickey got all the fame. Timothy was just too drunk to care. As the live-action remake of Dumbo moves forward, time will only tell if the same scene will be used again with modern audiences. What do you think? Would something like this fly in today's day and age at Disney? Pinocchio. In the 1940 animated film Pinocchio, the title character was a lively wooden puppet that had dreams of one day becoming a real boy. After a visit by a magical fairy, he learned exactly how he could do this. It included the ability to be brave, truthful, and unselfish. While these were important for the character's journey, he may have had a few side stops along the way. Pinocchio may be a puppet made of wood, but from the looks of a specific shot, it looked like that wasn't stopping him from enjoying some suspicious plants in his downtime. The magical fairy never mentioned anything about smoking, and that's exactly what it looks like Pinocchio is doing in the shot. I guess Geppetto could not only make puppets, but he was probably skilled at making other handy devices. The only thing left to figure out from this suspicious screenshot is who exactly Pinocchio got the stuff from. Jiminy Cricket seems to have some good resources, but my money is on the suspicious duo of Honest John the Fox and Gideon the Cat. Those two seem to know the back streets of Pinocchio's village, and spent a good portion of the film trying to trick the puppet. Either way, if Pinocchio did end up enjoying some illicit contraband, doing that wouldn't necessarily go against the fairy's wishes. He could still enjoy it all while still being brave, truthful, and unselfish.
Well, oh, the prince. I haven't met the prince.
The prince?
Prince Charming's Second Life. The world of Disney is filled with a lot of inspiring and great love stories. There's Sleeping Beauty and Prince Philip, there's Simba and Nala, there's Anna and Kristoff. Even though Cinderella is a classic Disney animated film, the love story does not live up to some of the other epics. Most of this blame can be placed directly on Prince Charming. Boring and undeveloped, Prince Charming may seek a princess to lead the land with, but we don't get to know much about him other than his obsession with fancy glass dress shoes. Small hints throughout Cinderella may showcase that Prince Charming is not as charming as he's supposed to be. During this one specific shot, we get a glimpse of Charming during his big ball. Prince Charming not only looks like he'd rather be anywhere else, but his demeanor, outfit, and expression make it seem like he was seeking another prince rather than a princess. The white gloves, the lips that look like lipstick has been pressed against them, etc, etc. Maybe Disney was a little more progressive than they actually seemed back in the 1950s. His polite yawn may be an indicator of what's to come in the future after the happily ever after with Cinderella. Even a fairy godmother can't save this relationship. The 2014 Disney film Into the Woods took this premise a little further, turning Prince Charming into a full-fledged cheater. That seems about right, especially when looking at this screenshot again. Flynn's Problems. Flynn Rider is one of the main characters in Tangled and has always lived a life on the run. Sure, he was a petty thief, but there was clearly something more to his constant movements. Maybe it was just a medical condition all along. Multiple paused moments in the 2010 animated film showcase some odd looks on Flynn's face. Each of these could be easily interpreted as some type of medical issue for Flynn. Our guess? Irritable bowel syndrome. During the scene inside a pub, a paused moment shows a look of despair on Flynn's face. After getting tossed around the place, did his bowels kick in? That's certainly what it looks like. Even though his face looks like it was in a lot of pain, he does seem to have some sense of relief. Another scene in the film makes it look like his disease has come back to haunt him. With Rapunzel's hair wrapped around his neck, Flynn makes his strangest face in the film as his eyes bug out and his mouth shows some exasperation. He's clearly going through some type of bowel issues here. It's just too bad that Rapunzel doesn't have the time or the patience to let him get his business done. Children watching these scenes may have some ideas about Flynn and his journey deep into the forest. He unintentionally found Rapunzel, but maybe he was just looking for a quiet place to go to the bathroom all along.
Oh my.
Jane's botched BOTOX. When you live a life being raised by gorillas, you will lose touch with a lot of modern technology and society. In the 1999 film Tarzan, we watch the hero get raised by animals and live a simple life with just a loincloth around his body. Living deep in the jungle keeps him away from vehicles, clothes, modern food, and even the social media of the day. Eventually, Tarzan meets the woman that'll change his life forever. Jane introduced Tarzan to modern conveniences, including clothes, cooking tools, and weapons like guns. Apparently, Jane was also one of the first people to ever get Botox, and it didn't go so well. In a freeze frame where Tarzan carries Jane to safety, her hand swings up and nails Tarzan in the face. While Tarzan's face looks like a normal reaction to a slap, Jane's face becomes completely distorted. Her eyes look uneven, her cheeks are pointing in different directions, and it looks like her smile is frozen in place. All of these issues are typical signs of a botched Botox injection. While the time frame of the 1800s may make it seem far-fetched, Jane was traveling with some pretty sophisticated scientists and inventors. She could have been using some experimental version of the now popular cosmetic drug. It's no wonder that after spending weeks in the jungle with Tarzan, Jane's skin remains as flawless as ever.
I want to do something for her. But what?
Beast's eating disorder. Beauty and the Beast is a classic Disney tale, and the 1991 animated film is one of the few films to ever get nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. The massive popularity of both the animated film and the live-action remake has put a lot of scrutiny on the story. It's easy to notice a lot of flaws, but one shot can showcase a whole undeveloped storyline that was never fully shown. In the shot, the Beast stuffs his face with platters of food, refusing to use forks and knives like a typical human. Not only does he eat messily, but he eats more than you can imagine. Just glancing at this frame alone will make you think that the Beast has an eating disorder. Exhibit A. The Beast was not always a beast. He was once a human. Not just any ordinary human, but a lavish prince that probably spent years attending formal dinners and taking etiquette classes. Just because he's transformed doesn't mean that he's lost his manners. Another big piece of evidence. More than half of the transformed people are there just to serve him food. There's dozens of plates, cooks, teacups, and kettles. A lavish meal is made every night, and before Belle arrived, it was just the Beast eating these meals. Sure, the screenshot of the Beast may look silly, but it could also be an indication of some type of binge-eating issue. Hopefully, children don't pick up on any of these issues and transfer it into their own lives.
So lonely.
Frozen fever. The massive success of the 2013 film Frozen led to a huge demand to see more content. Before Frozen 2 went into production, fans were treated with a short film entitled Frozen Fever. In the story, Elsa, Kristoff, Olaf, and other characters start to plan a huge birthday bash for Anna, until Elsa comes down with a cold. The sneezes from her cold produce little snowmen known as snowgies, but there is more than meets the eye when you take a look at a key shot from the film. A look at Elsa showcased her surrounded by a huge puff of smoke inside a small wooden structure. Elsa's not avoiding this smoke at all, but she actually waves her hands to inhale it. What exactly is this smoke, and how does it contribute to Elsa's powers? Does anyone else know about this secret shed? Not only would children be suspicious of this paused moment, but Anna is looking on suspiciously in the background. Anna may need to look out for what she's carrying though. That giant loaf of bread could end up being a huge craving for Elsa. Elsa lives a very stressful life as the Snow Queen. She must keep her kingdom at peace, manage her powers, and ensure that another ice disaster doesn't happen again. It would be reasonable that Elsa would seek a little relaxation and privacy. Too bad her nosy sister is there to ruin the real party. Well, there you have it. What paused Disney moment did you enjoy the best? Which one was the funniest? Are there any crazy Disney shots that we missed? Do any of these moments change your views of the Disney movies? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Screen Rant on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos. And finally, the answer to our emoji challenge is... Thanks for watching.